fourth grade mathematicians, and welcome to Math here at BCPS-TV. My name is Mr. Tang, and I'll be taking you through this week's lesson of comparing decimals. Our objective for today is that we will be comparing decimals by reasoning about their size in order to solve real-world problems. Before we jump into comparing decimals, let's think about what we remember from comparing whole numbers and fractions. Let's do that thing where you think out loud and I try to read your thoughts. Let's stay on task here, boys and girls. All right, so I hear that we're looking at different numbers, both whole numbers and fractions. Okay, what are we doing with those numbers? Telling them apart, okay. Seeing which is greater or less, great vocabulary. Ooh, someone said equal to. So we're comparing to see if what's greater, what's less, or equal to. Or what else do you think? Comparing whole numbers and fractions. Organizing them, putting them in an order. Think about what kind of order you can put numbers in. When you're comparing number, least to greatest, greatest to least, wonderful. I want you to think about this. Why do you think this is important? And how can this help us in the real world? Okay, next question. I want you to think about this. What strategies can you use to compare whole numbers and fractions? Go ahead, think out loud. Okay, you can use what you know already. Okay, from third grade, earlier in fourth grade, from a long time ago when we were back in school. Oh, gotta make your teachers proud here. All right. Use what you know about place value. What other strategies? Okay. Use models. Use number lines. Break numbers apart. Love it, love it, love it. All right, let's go ahead and move on. When we compare numbers, we try to determine which number has a lesser or greater value. You can use symbols to write the inequalities. Do you remember how the symbols look? Do you remember which way they face? This symbol means greater than. This symbol means less than. Is there another symbol we can use to compare numbers? If you said we can use an equal sign, you are correct. If numbers have the same value, they are considered equal. Here are some different strategies that we can use. Decimal grids, number lines, and or place value to compare decimals. Let's take a look at this problem. Donovan ran the 100-meter race in 10 and 11 hundredths seconds. Sal ran the same race in 10 and 9 hundredths seconds. Who had the faster time? So we're going to go ahead and take a look at this problem a few different ways. The first one being using decimal grids to compare decimals. We know that 10 seconds equals 10 seconds. So you can compare the decimal amounts, 11 hundredths and 9 hundredths. We can use decimal grids to show this. Another great strategy that we can use to compare decimals is using a number line. First, we have to make sure we have appropriate intervals. Then, we need to plot each decimal on the number line. When we use a number line, the numbers to the left have a lesser value, and the numbers to the right have a greater value. The number line shows that 10 and 11 hundredths is farther to the right than 10 and 9 hundredths. That means 10 and 11 hundredths is greater than 10 and 9 hundredths. The next strategy that we'll look at to compare decimals is using place value. Let's start with a place value chart and write in our times. Donovan ran the race in 10 and 11 hundredths seconds. Sal ran the same race in 10 and 900 seconds. When comparing decimals, you begin by comparing the largest place value first, which in this case is a tens place. But both the tens and ones place are equal. So the next place value, the tenths place, are different. So we can compare the tenths values. We have 1/10 and 0/10. 1/10 is greater than 0/10. So therefore, 10 and 11/100 is greater than 10 and 9/100. Boys and girls, do we even have to compare our hundredths place? Why or why not? Let's go ahead and turn to our friends at Pearson to review different ways to compare decimals.
One way to compare decimals is with a number line. Let's find both decimals on a number line. The whole numbers are the same. They are both 5. So we'll concentrate on the tenths and hundredths places in each number. 5 and 47 hundredths has 4 tenths. 5 and 54 hundredths has 5 tenths. We can make a number line that is between 5 and 4 tenths and 5 and 6 tenths. Between each tenth, we'll mark 10 equal parts to show hundredths. Then we locate each number. 5 and 47 hundredths has 4 tenths and 7 hundredths and is located here. 5 and 54 hundredths has 5 tenths and 4 hundredths and is located here. 5 and 54 hundredths is farther to the right on the number line. It is the greater number. We can write this as a comparison. 5 and 47 hundredths is less than 5 and 54 hundredths. We can use other strategies to compare decimals, such as hundredths grids. The digits in the ones place are the same, so we'll just compare the digits in the tenths and hundredths places. There is a greater number of tenths in 5 and 54 hundredths than in 5 and 47 hundredths. 5 and 54 hundredths is greater than 5 and 47 hundredths. Another way we can compare decimals is to use place value. The whole number parts are the same. The decimal parts are both to the hundredths. 47 hundredths is less than 54 hundredths. 5 and 47 hundredths is less than 5 and 54 hundredths. Another way to compare is to start at the left of each number. Compare each place value. Look for the place where the digits are different. In these two numbers, the first place the digits are different is in the tenths place. 4 tenths is less than 5 tenths. Therefore, 5 and 47 hundredths is less than 5 and 54 hundredths. You can also use place value blocks to compare. One flat represents one whole. One rod represents 1/10, and one cube represents 1/100th. So, 5 and 47 hundredths would be represented like this. And 5 and 54 hundredths would be represented like this. Once again, 5 and 54 hundredths is greater than 5 and 47 hundredths. There is more than one way to compare decimals. You can use number lines, hundredths grids, place value blocks, and more. Just pick a strategy and compare.
Way to go, boys and girls. Now it's your turn to try. Start with Reteach page 12.3. It starts with some vocabulary review then provide some opportunity for you to apply your new learning. Next, move on to practice pages 12-3. It begins with another example using place value blocks. Then, move on to your guided practice section, numbers 1-5. When you're feeling comfortable and ready to move on to your independent practice, do numbers 6-11. Check with your teachers because this may be collected to be graded. If you need more practice or extension, feel free to complete the rest of the practice. Great job today, boys and girls. Feel free to watch this video as many times as you need to review comparing decimals. And as always, stay safe, wash your hands, do the math, and may the 4th be with you.